You know that line from the Shawshank Redemption that frames pursuing your dreams as a simple binary choice?
Get busy living. You get busy dying.
That's the one. I got busy living in the world of real estate this year, and in the past 12 months I've toured over 150 homes in Los Angeles, but more on that later. Even though touring palatial multi-million-dollar mansions is pretty fun, not earning any money and dipping into your savings to the tune of $50,000 is less fun. Yeah, I got busy living, but my bank account got busy dying. And the whole time in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about that fallacy, you know, the one where you spend money on a thing, but it doesn't work out, but then you just keep spending more and more money on that thing. What do they call that? Sunk cost fallacy. Right. Sunk because it feels like you're drowning. Well, too late now. Glug, glug, glug. If you're in my position, do you cut your losses? Or do you just keep charging ahead and hope things will turn around? Seriously, I'm asking. All opinions are welcome. Even the stupid ones. But first, here's a little context. Unless you're an economist or a nerd like me, I'm guessing you haven't heard the term the velocity of money. It just refers to how quickly money gets exchanged from place to place. During the worst months of the pandemic, the velocity of money was really low and the economy suffered. People were still getting what they needed, mainly through deliveries, but weird things happened. Like there was a shortage of quarters. Good luck doing your laundry. The quarters hadn't disappeared. They just weren't getting exchanged at the same rate or velocity that they had been back when people were slinging cash and pocketing the change at their local coffee shops every day. If you did go to your local coffee shop, you paid electronically with your phone.
Like a normal person.
What the hell does this have to do with real estate? Well, essentially the same thing happened. The velocity of home buying slowed way down in the last year because during the pandemic, the interest rates, the cost of your mortgage became phenomenally low. And so almost everyone who owned a home refinanced. And almost everyone who had ever considered buying a home and had the means to do so jumped at the chance to lock in those rates. Meanwhile, again, because of the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of construction going on. So the supply of homes remained relatively depressed while the demand skyrocketed. And I'm sure you all know what happens when demand outpaces supply. Inflation, rising prices, frenzy, chaos, you get the idea. Concurrently, the government swoops in, imperfectly of course, but doing their best, and they throw a whole bunch of money at the problem. Checks for individuals, checks for businesses, checks, 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 checks. They wanted consumers to feel comfortable spending again, because consumer spending, that's what the economy is. 2/3 of it anyway. Eventually, the pandemic ebbs and transitions into an endemic. Employers start hiring again. Basically, everyone who wants a job has one, and consumers, after years of sitting on cash, are dying to spend it. Revenge spending grips the nation. But supply chain issues and pandemic restrictions in other countries don't all work themselves out at exactly the same time. So again, because demand for stuff was super high while supply of said stuff was super low, you know what happened all too well. Inflation, rising prices, frenzy, chaos, 1, 2, 3, let's go! This time, not the government per se, but the Federal Reserve swoops in to do what they do. Kinda tricky, given their dual mandate of full employment and low inflation. Those two conditions are often at odds with one another. But they hit the ground running and jacked those borrowing rates up month after month, and they completely failed and drove us headlong into a recession. What? Oh, right. Sorry. It worked out better than anyone's wildest expectations. The crazy inflation of prices at the grocery store has leveled off, employment numbers are solid, and there's no recession in sight. At least, not yet, anyway. The soft landing, a phrase the Fed had been dragged for, it seems to have worked. Mostly. So everything's great, right? No! Have you not been paying attention? When war broke out in the Middle East, while it was already raging in the Ukraine, mortgage rates chin-upped over 8%, almost 3 times what they were a year or two earlier. So last January, when I got my license, I entered into what every agent I've talked to has described as the worst housing market they've ever seen, worse than during the Great Recession. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. There's been a lot of prayer. It's beginning to turn around. I know a few agents personally who are doing very well, but at the moment, the velocity of housing sales is still not great. If you're a first-time buyer, hi, Scott Antonucci. Call me. If you're a first-time buyer, you probably haven't heard the term marry the house, but date the rate. And you don't want to jump into a rate that, by comparison, just sort of feels high, even though it's historically low. If you're a current homeowner, you don't want to sell, because even if you move to a less expensive house, your payments might go up. So, my first year in real estate was the worst market of the last half century. Everything in life is, timing. Based on the experts at Sotheby's and other economists I listen to, we're not in the sort of housing slump that's going to be the first domino to tip over that will eventually lead to the toppling of the entire world economy. That's not going to happen. The world's going to be just fine. at least until the election. For real estate agents, what these hard times in housing will do is separate the wheat from the chaff, and the speed of that husky division will only increase thanks to the recent and widely publicized settlement by the National Association of Realtors, of which I'm a member. That's why I get to use the term realtor. What does this mean for those interested in buying and or selling real estate? Well, if I can use another metaphor, and I usually do, in the same way that the speed of the herd increases when its slower members are caught by pursuing predators, the quality and reliability of real estate agents, IMHO, is only going to improve from here on out. And because I pledged an oath of honesty when I became a realtor, I have to say, I don't know if I'm going to make the cut. I mean, if I'm not bringing an incredible amount of market knowledge and transaction expertise to the table, then I'm not serving my clients, and I probably shouldn't make the cut. Does making the cut qualify as a third metaphor? I'm on fire! You can't control the market, but those 150 homes I saw, that was within my control, and I now have a practical, experiential sense of what the homes in my area are worth. So when I see a house and I think it's probably overpriced by about $500,000, and then a month later it sells for $500,000 less, yeah, I do a little happy dance. What? I'm not going to dance for you. I'm a professional. I'm not going to make myself look like a fool just for your enjoyment. It obviously takes a lot more than a little local knowledge to be a top-notch agent. I mean, you got to master the paperwork, which is thousands of pages. You got to be an expert marketer, a shrewd negotiator, a savvy but succinct communicator, and 100 other things. Also, apparently it helps if you're nice. Who knew? Putting all that aside, the point is, the more factors that are out of your control in the pursuit of your goals or dreams, the more you have to focus on those things you can control and let the rest take care of itself. So at least for the foreseeable future, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, what are my options?
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Right. God, I love that movie. I'll see you in the next one.